Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you. It's going to be with you. Hope you're well today. Hope you're feeling grand and all's well in your world. Hello there. Firstly, I do have to apologise today for any metallic clanking and clicking and all that kind of noise that's going on. There's scaffolding being put up outside, well, basically my window at this point in time, and it's literally right outside the cove where I normally do videos. So I can't really do the Q&A in there today as the scaffolding noise is a little bit too much. So yeah, I do apologise for any of that you hear today. But you know, I did try. I said, could you wait until I do my video? And they were like, no. And I was like, I will come down on you like a ton of bricks. And they were like, I don't care. Anyway, moving along. Question, yeah, Q&A Wednesday, everybody. Ha ha! I remembered where I was. Hello. Who am I again? Oh yes, you're Dave. Am I Dave? Yes, you are Dave. Oh, that's good, isn't it? Yes, it is. Anyway, moving along. Question 1 today, everybody. My mind. Yeah, question 1. When will you feature more Telecasters on your channel, and what's your opinion on them, and do you own any? I've owned many I think I've owned 4 Telecasters. I owned a Shine Telecaster, which was like a cheapo Telecaster, and it was gorgeous and I loved it to bits, but I eventually sold it to help fund the 62. I had a Shine Telecaster. I had a Fender 60s reissue Tele Custom, the Sunburst one with the white binding on the body, the John Frusciante Telecaster basically, for a long time, and eventually sold that. And then I had a Revelation Telecaster, which I sold, and I had a Fender Light Ash Telecaster, which caused me nightmares, because it was just a bad guitar. It was, I don't like to say that about any guitar, but the Light Ash Telecaster I had was cursed. I can tell you, it's like Imhotep from the Mummy had just gone like that. I don't know what that was, but it kind of cursed it, and it was just literally the most horrendous thing in the world. Everything I tried failed. Everything everybody else tried with it failed. It was one of those things, which I don't know why, because I've tried Light Ash Telecasters and Strats since, and they've been really good. It just must have been that one. The person who assembled it that day didn't care, and they just kind of went bang, that'll do. And it was just rubbish, and I hated it. And I hate when a guitar, when you try everything with a guitar for it to work, and it just decides to go no. And it's the only guitar I've ever had that's done that with. It's the only guitar that I can ever. It's my guitar horror story, that Light Ash Telecaster, because I loved it to bits, and if it worked, I would still have it, because it was just one of those guitars. It was just one of those guitars where you just, you can play it really well. Although, I say that now, when I walked out the shop with it, I did have an overwhelming urge to kind of go, why have I bought this? What have I got this for? I wish I hadn't bought this kind of thing. And then it was kind of like foreshadowing in a way. It's like having a premonition that the guitar was never going to work well. Worked great in the shop. As soon as I got it out of the shop, it was just terrible. It never stayed in tune. The saddles fell constantly. The grub screws fell out all the time. The truss rod was terrible. You would come to the neck, and one day it'd be back bowed, the other day it'd be front up bowed, and then it'd be totally flat. But you could never get it to sit. You'd have to change alter the truss rod every day. I remember that it used to drive me balmy. I did constantly tinkering with it, because it just was never stable. And I to this day I don't understand that one. I do not understand that one. The saddles were cruddy. They were brass saddles and they sounded great, but they were just rubbish. They fell. Like I say, the grub screws fell out. It never stayed in tune because of the neck going hither and everywhere. The neck actually moved as well in the neck pocket. I found out just before I got rid of it that the neck was actually moving in the neck pocket. It wasn't flush in the neck pocket at all. It wasn't good. And I did actually put cardboard in there to wedge it, and that did kind of work a bit. But, oh God, it caused me nightmares, that Telecaster did. I hated it eventually. I just grew to hate it. And I don't like to say that, because I love guitar so much, I hate to say that I hated a guitar. But that one really did cause me to lose lose the plot with it many times. I've never had that with any other Telecaster, and like I say, I've tried some light ash Telecasters since. We had a couple in we had one in Old Hat Guitars when I worked there, and that sold really quick, and it was amazing. And I was like, why wasn't mine this good? Ow! We'll forget that for the time being. My knuckles, but yeah, that's the light ash Telecaster coming back to haunt me. That it's like, you'll never be free of me. Overwhelmingly weird today. Weirder than usual? I don't know. But anyway, I'll leave that for you to decide, people of the tube. But anyway, that was my horror story, which was a real shame because the guitar, when it played really amazing, and it sounded stunning. The sound of it, especially in the middle when you had both pickups on, was just the sound of a Telecaster to me that I loved, that I absolutely adored. It was just the right sound. It had that stereotypical sound. But the other Telecasters I've had since, I find it really hard to connect with Telecasters. I've only ever had 3 Telecasters where I've connected. One was, as like I say, the light ash Telecaster when it worked. When it didn't work, I wanted to burn it in a big fire and dance around it, going, "It's dead." But that's a different story. But there was that one. But when it worked, and it was just a pig. The other one I had was my Revelation. That was another Telecaster I really clicked with, but there was just something about it that just I don't know if it's the shape or what it is. But I just struggle with them. I really struggle with Telecasters. The best Telecaster I've ever played, and the one I felt most connected to, and this is kind of this was the Telecaster where I picked it up and I was just immediately gone with it. It was just gone. It was either a 57 or a 58, I forget. But it was a 57, 58 original Telecaster, and I demoed it actually in the old hat days. Way back when, and it was just one of those Telecasters where I was just like, this is ridiculous. This guitar plays itself. It was just stunning. It was just one of those guitars where you're just like, whoa. It doesn't happen a lot. That doesn't, when you get kind of guitars that literally are otherworldly, but it happened with that Telecaster, and that was the only Telecaster I've really felt 100% connected to. Other than that, there was the Light Ash and the Revelation. I never really felt connected to my Telecaster Custom, the John Frusciante one. It was a gorgeous guitar and it sounded great and it played great, but it never felt right. There was always something wrong with it that I could never put my finger on, saying that's what I don't like. And that's the crux of Telecasters full stop for me. Is I don't know what it is that I can't get on with. I don't know if it's the blocky big body. I don't know if it's the body shape. I don't know if it's the necks. I don't know what it is, because I love the sound of Telecasters and I really, 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 really want a Telecaster that I can use and I can play and I can enjoy. The closest thing I've got to a Telecaster right now is the Revelation that's hung on the wall. If you look at the intro jam, the white Revelation on the wall, that's like my Telecaster, because it sounds like a Telecaster, but it doesn't feel. I don't know. It doesn't feel. I don't have that weird disconnect with it. I really connect with that guitar, and I love it to bits, and I play it quite a lot. It really likes to be down tuned. It really likes to be down tuned. That guitar. It's a really great down tuned guitar. But yeah, I mean that's my Telecaster at this point out. But I would like a traditional Telecaster at some point. I really want to get Master Nick even, to build me one. I'd love an Oswald Telecaster. He made one recently which was yellow, and it was lightly relict, and I was just dribbling over the picture of it. I was like, oh, I want that one. Because I would love a one of those old kind of blonde Telecasters with a black scratch plate and a maple neck. That's my dream Telecaster. It's like the old kind of 50s style ones. It has to be that. If I'm gonna get a Telecaster that's gonna be with me forever, it has to be, like I say, that old kind of blonde, orangey-esque kind of colour with the black scratch plate and the maple neck. It has to be that way, because that's the first time I saw a Telecaster in that colour and that, the way that looks. I was just like, and I was, ever since that has been wow, that's it. That's the Telecaster chord. That's what I want my Telecaster to look like when I get it. But and that was literally like, that was like 3 years into playing guitar. So that's like it's like 13 years ago, and I've been craving one ever since. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, hopefully in the future I'll get a Telecaster that connects with me. Like I said, I'd love it to be an Oswald one. It's getting the money to be able to do it, and yeah, and hopefully be able to get some more Telecaster-esque kind of Telecaster videos up, so to say. But I do love Telecasters. The sound of a Telecaster is stunning. I adore it to bits. I love the way they look, especially that one I just described. Is kind of like, gets me a bit hot under the collar, that one. And stuff like that, I do love it, but it's just finding one that connects. I don't like guitars that feel disconnected from me. I like them to feel connected. I like them to feel to be an extension of me, an extension of my being, so to say. I mean, that might sound really, really weird, but I like the guitar to feel like it's just, when I put it on, it's not a guitar. When I'm playing it, it's not a guitar. It's me. It's just an extension of me. That's why I don't like naming my guitars, because I don't like that concept of naming a guitar, because to me the guitar is me. So if a guitar's called anything, it's called Dave, which isn't cool. What's your guitar called? Dave. It's not cool. You wouldn't see Keith Richards calling one of his Telecasters Dave, or it would be quite amusing. Fender announcing the new Keith Richards Dave Telecaster. Oh, that'd be amazing. That'd be hysterical. Anyway, but anyway, I'm going off on tangents here. I've been talking way too long about the Telecasters thing. But yeah, I do love them. Hopefully in the future, fingers crossed, I can get my hands on a Telecaster that I love, I can play properly, and it just works for me. And like I say, the closest I've got was that 50s Telecaster. The other closest ones I've got were the Light Ash when it worked, and the one right behind the 57 was the Revelation. But there was just still something about them two guitars that just never quite clicked. And I don't know what it was, and that's really frustrating. Because I can't put my finger on it, what it is, I can't fix it. I have a few ideas. I think if I had a Telecaster, I'd have to have an arm, like a chamfer arm cut and a belly cut on a Telecaster to make it more comfy. Because I'm a 99.9% of the time a strat kind of person. I need those cutaways for it to feel comfortable. So I think I'd have to have that done to a Telecaster if I was gonna have it. Hence why I want Master Nick to make one, so I could get it, get it right to the right specs, so to say. But yeah. Anyway. Hopefully for the future, I'll get a Telecaster that I love and I can use more, and it's just me. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's nothing worse than having a guitar that just doesn't connect with you. There's nothing worse because you just can't get anything out of it at all. Oh, I love the sound. This guitar rings. I don't know if you can hear that. I accidentally caught it then, and there's that noise. I love that noise. Anyway, stop gushing, Dave. So yeah, I hope that's answered your question. Again, I really do apologise. I think I waffled on there way too much. Sorry. Shush. So, I hope I answered your question. Move on to question 2 now before I completely go loopy-doo-dah. Okay, so question 2 today is, how can I develop rhythmical playing? I have trouble with my timing when I'm playing with a band. Okay, so there's a few ways you can improve your timing and your rhythm. I mean, the metronome would be kind of like the kind of playing with playing with a metronome, practicing with a metronome would be kind of like the top of everybody's kind of list. For me, I wouldn't. I could never practice with a metronome. I can't get on with metronomes at all. So what I do is I just play along to songs. My favourite songs, like either it be like the Chili Peppers, Jimi Hendrix, Pearl Jam, and that's what gave me my sense of time, because everybody has that kind of inner kind of timing. We all move at a different time, so to say. So you've got to take that into account. But if you're having trouble with your timing, I would say practice along with CDs, playing songs front to back. and just try and keep on top of it and just learn the rhythm parts. AC/DC is a good band to learn if you want to kind of get your rhythm tight. Learn Malcolm's parts and play them. Don't play lead, just play them, and really lock in with the drums and the bass and really listen to them. You know, don't listen to what, you know, it sounds a bit weird, but don't listen to what you're playing. Listen to the hi-hat and the snare and the bass drum and the bass and where all that's falling, and try and lock in with that. Just really focus. You know, so when you kind of... You know, you want to be able to hear that dum da, and the bass, you know, you know, great bass impression, Dave. But yeah, you want to hear the bass and the drums. Kind of zone out what you're doing. Let it become unconscious what you're doing. Like, you know, when you're playing, let that become unconscious and just zone in on the guitar and the the bass and the drums. So you can just lock in with that, lock in that rhythm section, and that will tighten you up. Like, you know, you'll just eventually just kind of like, you'll hear that and you will eventually lock in with it. You know, it's really important to lock in with the bass and the drums. It's really important to hear that above anything. You know, even above your own playing, you need to be able to feel that rhythm section. You know, it really helps your playing when you can hear the bass and the drums above your own self. Because if you can hear yourself above them, you're not playing. You're just playing. You're not playing kind of off them or with them. You're just playing, so to say. So I would say kind of like learning songs is kind of like a great way to go with that. It's kind of like how I can only talk from my experiences. That's how I kind of learn. And I remember sitting down with a metronome once and trying to play to a metronome, and I got really fed up and frustrated with it because it was just really annoying. It was like that. It's like having. It's like if you're learning piano, like they say back in the day, if you were learning piano and you hit a wrong note, the teacher would hit you on the fingers with like a ruler or something to kind of like, you know, say, oh, you've done that wrong. I felt that way with a metronome. I felt like it was, stop it, playing time. I felt it was very restricting and I didn't like it. I didn't like the way, like I say, it was hitting me on the knuckles every time I kind of fluctuated out of time slightly. I just didn't like that. Because I like to be able to go in and out of time. I like that ability to kind of play faster or play slower or play behind the beat or play in front of a beat or play on the beat. I like the ability to do that if I want. And I feel the metronome was taking that away from me and it was saying, no, you'll play on the beat and that's where you'll play and you won't deviate and that's what you'll do. It felt like that. It felt like a strict teacher and I didn't like that. So I just thought, well, I'm not doing that again. And I just played along to songs, you know, just rhythm parts, learning rhythm parts. So, you know, like I used, you know, play Green Day and Offspring and all that kind of stuff. And I said AC/DC and even rhythm parts and stuff like Black Sabbath really, you know, give you a great sense of time because they were, you know, those guys back then, they did it by playing together. You know, they were locked in together. They were all a unit. You know, you hear Black Sabbath or Green Day or Offspring play, and they're so tight, they're so together. You know, and Rush are another example of a really, really tight band, like musically. It's just unreal. But yeah, I mean, but if that doesn't work, try a metronome. But like I say, I do feel that the metronome, it kind of imprisons you, and it is kind of like the strict piano teacher who'll smack you on the knuckles when you kind of deviate out of time, and you know, it's not. It can be a bit depressing and it can be a bit off-putting, so to say. So I don't really feel that's the best thing in the world. I don't really like metronomes for that reason. I feel they're very... What's the word? Kind of stifling, but it's not really a word I'm searching for. They're very kind of... They imprison you, if that makes any sense. I just realised that maple neck's a bit glary, isn't it? But yeah, they kind of imprison you and kind of... Oh, I'm quite glary, actually. I do apologise, it's quite... Maybe I should move over here. But that's not helped at all, Dave. But yeah, I feel they do kind of imprison you and they kind of like pin you down to kind of like, you know, that's what you do, that's where you are, you know, you will not deviate from that, so to say so. So that's what I would recommend. People of the Tube, what would you recommend to help improve timing other than metronome and playing along with songs? Is there any other things that you do out there that that will help this fellow out. So yeah, I hope that's answered your question. But that's what I would do. I would just play on with songs and just focus on the rhythm and just really just lock in with the drums and the bass. Forget your own kind of sound or your playing, and forget the lead and forget the vocals. Really listen to the drums and the bass and really feel it and lock in with it. So I really hope that's answered your question. We're going to move on to question 3 now, everybody. Question 3. How does John Frusciante play chords, and how can I learn it the best way? Right. Spoke about this a lot. Sorry, everyone. I'm just going to have to glare you again with the maple neck. Can you even see the maple neck? Not very well. Let me change guitars. One sec. That's still really glary. That's not helping at all. Okay, so that looks a little bit darker now, so I do apologise if it was glare central. Sorry, everyone. I didn't realise, and I need to start paying more attention. Sorry. So yes, how does John Frusciante play chords, and how can I learn it the best way? Well, John plays with his thumb. I mean, I've done a million videos on kind of like, John, how he uses his thumb and how, you play over the top of the neck. It's that Jimi Hendrix, Curtis Mayfield thing. The best way to learn it is just spending time with it. There is nothing more to be said, really. It's just the amount of time you put in. It takes years. It really does take years because when John plays, if you're approaching it by the book kind of thing, like a power chord starting with the root note on the A string, you're supposed to play it like that, and John plays it like that, which is a lot more comfortable, especially if you're a thumb over the top kind of guy. Under the bridge. But yeah, I've got a lot of videos on this, especially about how to play John Frusciante's series. But it's just time and effort. That's all it boils down to. You're not going to learn it in a couple of months. You might not learn it in a year, but you will learn it if you keep at it, if that makes any sense. I mean, it can be frustrating, but there is nothing more important with the guitar than the time you spend with it and the hours and the years you put into it. You can't pick up a guitar and just immediately do what you want to do with it. It doesn't work that way. It takes years and months. Like you all know. I don't really need to say that, but you know what I mean. It's like, what's the best way to learn it? It's just day by day. Just do a little bit every day by day. Just learning to. Try just the under the bridge compression over and over every day for like say 15 minutes. Just with your thumb over the top playing the bass note, or and playing that kind of chord, and with the diddly dums, stuff like that. It's just time. It just takes time. I can't tell you do this, this, and this, and away you go, and you'll be able to do it, because that doesn't work that way. I can show you the way John does chords. So, for instance, like I say, instead of doing an E major chord like that, where you've got your first finger on the 7th fret on the A string, then you've got your middle finger on the 9th fret on the D, your ring finger on the 9th fret on the G, and your little finger on the 9th fret on the B. Instead of doing it like that, John will use his first finger and his ring finger, and his first finger will fret the root note on the 7th fret on the A, and he'll use his ring finger to bar the 9th fret on the D, G, and B. That's how John does his power chords with a power. That's how John does his power chords or major chords or major chords. Sorry, if the root note starts on the A string. On the top there's the Jimi Hendrix shape, which is if you're going to do a B major, is your thumb goes over the top to fret the B note on the low E string. The full chord is that, and then you get your ring finger on the 9th fret on the A string, your little finger goes on the D string on the 9th fret, your middle finger goes on the 8th fret on the G string, and your first finger bars the B and the high E string on the 7th fret. But John will also do the Hendrix thing where he misses the A string out and the A string's dead. So he doesn't play the A string. So that's just nothing, and you're basically just missing it out, but the rest of the chord is exactly the same. And then sometimes you don't even play the high E, so the high E isn't even in there either. So you just get the low E, the D, the G, and the B string. But it depends on on what he's playing and how he feels at the time, really. But like I say, there is nothing better than just spending time with guitar and just playing it, and just kind of like trying to find your way of doing it. How can I play that chord? And get it to work for me. Where does my hand need to be? This, that, and the other. But again, that takes time. It takes time. It takes years. It takes this, that, and the other. So yeah, you've got to work at it. That's literally what it comes down to. Like I say, you might not get it next month. You might not get it next, by the end of next year. But you will get it if you keep at it. There is. It's all practice at the end of the day. It's all practice. What you put in, you'll eventually get back out. It's not immediate, but you will eventually get it back out. It will eventually come back out. I promise. It just takes time. And playing like John Frusciante is not an easy thing. Especially if you've never played with your thumb over the top before. It's totally alien to kind of like, and it's really, really difficult to eventually, to get your thumb over the top. But you will eventually get it. I mean, when I first started playing, I was playing power chords like this all the time. And when I started to learn Jimi Hendrix and John Frusciante stuff and I had to use my thumb, it was really difficult. It took me about 2 years to be able to kind of use my thumb in a sense where it could actually work. Even longer, probably, actually. Yeah, it was longer. It was longer than 2 years. It took me a long time to be able to get to use my thumb to a point now where it's kind of a second nature thing, and that's the way it is now. But it just takes time, and that's all it is. It's just time. I can show you how John plays chords. Like I say, that's his major chord if a root note starts on the A string. That's his minor chord if a root note starts on the A string. That's his minor chord if he starts on the low E string, and that's his major chord if he starts on the low E string. I can show you that, but it doesn't mean you're immediately going to be able to do it in a week. Sadly. I mean, I know that's kind of... It's a real hard pill to swallow. I know, trust me. But, it really is as important as just play. You will learn so much from just playing. And playing along with the songs. Like I say, playing along to Under the Bridge just every day. Back to back even. Just just playing that chord progression back to back along with the song, you'll eventually get there. Your hands will learn. They'll eventually behave themselves, and they will start to know what you do. It's just you need to get the muscle memory there first. I forget how many times you have to do things before your muscles actually kind of like remember how to do things. But it's all muscle memory at the end of the day. You need to do it a certain amount of times over and over and over and over again, week in, week out, year in, year out, to get it. There is no quick route. There is no quick route to be able to do that kind of stuff on a guitar. There is no quick route, I'm afraid. It's just a case of just sitting down and just working at it every day. It really is. Every day, every chance you get, just to sit there and play it. And just, and enjoy it is the most important thing. When it becomes a chore, you need to stop. When you start to get frustrated with it, stop, walk away, come back to it another day. That rhymed. Wasn't supposed to, but no, it really is that. It is like that. You really just want to... It's just the ultimate thing. Practicing for years gets you to that level of John Frusciante. John Frusciante started playing guitar when he was like 4 or something like that, an 8 or whatever it was when he started playing guitar. And we're all trying to play like John during some of the Stadium Arcadium era stuff. And by the way, in Californication era, he's got years on us, playing and stuff. I mean, fair enough, the 7 years where he was completely didn't play guitar at all. But the thing is, John is one of those naturally talented people at guitar. It's like he was born to play the guitar, and it was probably in him from the get-go, and he's just one of those people that can just pick it up and in a couple of years be amazing. And he was amazing. I mean, when he joined the Chili Peppers at like 18 years old, unreal guitar player. Absolutely unreal guitar player. But, you know, he got that from practicing like literally 14 to 18 hours a day. You know, that's how he got that good. It was just literally sitting there and playing and playing and playing and playing and learning songs and learning, you know, theory that he wanted to learn and just trying things out and just messing about with the guitar and letting it become a part of him. You know, like I spoke about with the Telecaster thing. So, yeah, I mean, it's important to kind of like, you know, it's cool to know how John plays chords with his thumb over the top and also kind of like I say with the root note on the A string. But it all comes down to what you need to put in to get there in the first place. And as soon as you know, one day it will just click. One day it will just click. I promise it will. But you need to put the hours in first. You need to put the years in first before you get there. It's not going to happen in a week. It's not going to happen in a month. It will happen when it happens. You know, you just have to keep going at it. And until then, you know, just do what you can do but enjoy it. Never let it get you down. Never let it beat you down. The fact that you can't play like that yet. Because eventually you will be able to play like that. You just need to keep going at it. You know, the more you put in, the more you get back out. It really is that. It's kind of a cliche thing to say, but it really is that. You know, it really is, I promise. The guitar is an instrument that will give back what you give it. And music is the same. What you give to music, it will give back. You know, it will. It really will. If you respect and love music and respect and love a guitar, it will give it back to you eventually. It just takes time. You know, and you have to give yourself that time. You can't set unrealistic goals. You know, you don't want to say, well, by the end of this year, I'm going to be Yngwie Malmsteen. You know, if you've never played that style before, you're not. You know, so don't, you know, you set realistic goals. Set like, you know, or don't set any goals. You know, actually, come to think of it, that's probably even better. Don't set any goals on your playing. Just learn what you want to learn and just get better at what you want to learn. You know, forget trying to be the best guitarist in the world or trying to be John Frusciante or Jimi Hendrix or this, that and the other. Just learn their music and eventually it will come. You know, it's not going to happen if you try and force something. It's like if you're trying to force something, it's like trying to force a square peg in a round hole. It isn't going to work. It needs to happen naturally. You know, you need to let it happen naturally. Anyway, I've waffled on for a long time about that. But yeah, and I definitely came to my point a long time ago. I'm just talking now. So I do apologise, but I hope that makes sense. I really do. Like I say, I speak about how John plays his chords a lot in my John Frusciante series. You know, of like, you know, how he, you know, where he places his fingers and how he does what he does, especially with like, you know, diddly dums and all that kind of thing. But it's up to you to kind of like, you know, to make that happen for you. I always say this about guitar teachers. Guitar teachers are like a guide. They like they're like a signpost, so to say, on the road. If you're driving down a road and say you want to get to, you know, you're coming from A and you want to get to B, and there's signposts along this road pointing to B, you know, and the other ways point off to C, D, E, and F and everywhere else, but that way points to B. That's what a guitar teacher should be, to me, is somebody who points. You need to go that way, and you need to do that. I can't do it for you. That's up to you. I can't come with you to B, but I can point the way for you. It's over there. You know what I mean? And the same thing I can do that with guitar. It's like, this is how John plays an E major chord. This is how John plays a B major. You know, but it's up to you to go that distance. It's not up to me to do that. I can't do that for you because it's you at the end of the day. You know, I can't learn the guitar for you, if that makes any sense. And that's what I feel a guitar teacher should be. It shouldn't be a case of forcing things on people. It's like you show them how to do it, like, and you guide them. You point the way. You clear all other obstacles out the way so they can just focus on that one thing they want to do and learn that thing. So with John Frusciante, you'd say learn with those chords and whatnot. That's how John would play them. But it's up to you to go away and to work at it and learn to play them. So so it makes sense. So guitar teachers are just signposts on a road to where you want to be. And if you deviate off that road, you end up in C, D, and F, and you don't end up at B, which is where you want to be. So that's what a guitar teacher should be. So if somebody says, "I want to learn this, I want to learn to play like John Frusciante," that's what I'll show you. I'll show you how he plays chords. I'll show you the scales he uses. I'll show you how to unlock the neck in the way John Frusciante unlocks the neck. But fundamentally, and at the end of the day, it's down to you. You have to take it that extra mile. I'm just a signpost on the journey. That's all. That's all guitar teachers will ever be and should be, in my opinion. They're just a signpost to go, this is what you need to do to get to there. We're just pointing the way, so to say. That's what a guitar teacher should be. Anyway, I'm getting all, but I hope that makes sense. But if you haven't checked out the John Frusciante series, please check out the John Frusciante series on my channel, and I go into a lot more detail there. So I hope that's answered your question. We're going to question 4 now. That was a lot of talking. I do apologise. So, but hopefully it made sense, and hopefully it's something you can take away from there. I'm terrified that I'm saying absolute nonsense. I say, okay, question 4. I've been playing for a year and a half, but I feel like I'm not using enough of my spare time to play. I want to get better, but I can only get myself to practice around 15 minutes a day. Do you have any tips on how to focus practicing? Learning songs is key to getting better at guitar. Learning the songs you want to learn, not what somebody recommends you should learn to get better. Learn what you want to learn within your means. If you've only been playing 5 weeks and you want to learn Tom Sawyer by Rush, you're not going to be able to do that. Learn. I can't talk. Sorry, but I've forgotten how to talk. Learn within your means to what will make you happy and make you want to go and play guitar. There is nothing worse than going, I should practice, but I can't be bothered. That's not. That's because there's nothing inspiring you. So if you think throughout the day, like, 15 minutes tonight, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna play along to whatever, Black Sabbath, Paranoid, for 15 minutes. I'm just gonna play it back to back, for 15 minutes. Just mess around with it, and you're really excited for that. That there is nothing better than that. You don't ever, like I said just a minute ago, you don't want to ever see the guitar as being a chore. The moment it becomes a chore for you, the moment you're going to kind of like not want to do it. So, then you're going to lose your motivation to do it. So you just want to just enjoy it. Like, I just want to play that. I want to play along to, like I say, Paranoid for 15 minutes. Or whatever. And, just get that motivation up. Like, I can play this. I can play that song now. I'll play that after this. And, just move on it. Like, get really excited about it. Just get really kind of like, this is amazing. And just really enjoy it for what it is, which is music. You're playing music. You're not playing guitar. You're not worrying about what people are thinking of what you're doing. You're not worrying about the theory side of it. You're just making music. You're playing music, which is what it's all about at the end of the day. You're playing guitar, but you're not playing guitar. You're playing music. They're two different things in a weird kind of way, but they are two different things. But yeah, just you need to get excited. You want to be kind of at that point where, like, I can't wait to play that song tonight on my guitar. And I might try this effect on that instead of that effect. Or I might try this. I might try tweaking my amp to this sound instead of that sound. Or I might try this tonight instead of that. I'll play that guitar instead of this guitar tonight. I'll use this pedal instead of that pedal. All these little things. That's what I would say. And through doing that, will make you want to practice more. It will make you want to spend more time with the guitar to play the guitar because there's more you can do with it. So to say, kind of like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to try that. I'm going to try using my wah pedal tonight in this guitar solo. It doesn't have a wah pedal in it. I'm going to try the wah in Paranoid solo, but I'm going to try it because it'll be fun. And if it fails, it fails. But as long as you have fun and you enjoy making music, that's all that matters. So that would be my advice, really. Is just kind of like just to sit and just have fun and just play around, just have fun. Don't ever look at it like it's got to be perfect or it's got to be this, that, and the other. Just enjoy doing it, and learning the music you want to learn and playing the music you want to play is key to that. It really is key to that. If you learn what you want to learn, then you're going to want to play it. When I first started playing guitar and I learned Green Day songs, it made me want to play it. I got overly excited. If I was out somewhere and I didn't have my guitar and we were about to leave, I got overly excited about coming home and playing along to Kaplunk or Dookie or Conspiracy of One by The Offspring. I was like, oh my god. And I still get that now. It's like, every now and again I'll kind of think like, I'm going to go and play along some Chili Peppers stuff or Pearl Jam. And I just come upstairs, turn the amps on, shut the world out and just enjoy playing music. Forget everything. Just let it go. I'm not playing guitar. I'm playing music. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. So that's my advice. I hope that makes sense. Again, like I say, I'm always terrified of giving really bad advice and I'm talking nonsense. But hopefully that makes sense. I really hope that makes sense. So that's what I would say. Just learn what excites you. Learn what's going to make you play guitar. What's going to make you play guitar. Find out what's going to make you play the guitar more and go for that. 100%. Go for that. So, yeah, hope that makes sense. And I hope that's answered your question okay. I'm going to move on to question 5 now. Question 5 is, I'm torn between the Revelation RJT60 and their Goldtop single cut. What would you recommend? I don't know, because they're both awesome. I always say this in videos and other kind of things here and there, but it comes down to if you can go and try both, and one talks to you more than the other. Like when you play it, it just has a connection. Comes back to that Telecaster thing I spoke about at the beginning of the video. But if you could just make a connection with that guitar, that's the one you want. The issue arises when both of them do that. In which case, to go for the one which you like the look of more. You say you kind of want the like P90s kind of thing. In all fairness, you can't go wrong for the P90 tone in any of them. They're both amazing for that kind of thing. So it's really hard for me to say that one or that one for you really, because like I say, not being you, I don't want to say I'll go for the RJT60. Oh no, go for the Goldtop, because at the end of the day, that might not work for you. If you get chance to try before you buy, I would go for that 100%. But if you don't, then go on. Like I say, go on which one you like the look of more. If you like the classic Les Paul Goldtop P90 look, go for that. If you want a bit more of the offset look, go for the RJT. But it's really hard for me to say that one or that one, because they're both amazing. They've both got a great sound. They both will play amazingly, because Revelation's next are just like ridiculously stunning. I don't know if it's the binding. I don't know if it's the width. I don't know if it's the the thickness of it, the fretboard. I don't know what it is, but Revelation's necks are stunning necks. They really are amazing. So either one. I mean, it sounds like a cop-out. It sounds like I'm just like, oh, whatever. But honestly, either one, once you've got it set up to your specifications and you just like the way they feel, then you're away. But again, it's really important to try before you buy, really. I mean, if you have to buy blind, then that's the way that is. But they're just, you couldn't go wrong with either. It's like when somebody says, oh, which one's better, the Orange CR120 or the Marshall MG100. It's like they're both as good as each other. I can't say the Marshall's better than the Orange, and I can't say the Orange is better than the Marshall. They both are stunning as amplifiers. They both work and do what they're supposed to do, and that's all that matters. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's kind of up to you really. But like I would say, the Revelations P90s are amazing pickups. It's like I've yet to play a Revelation where I haven't really liked the pickups. Like when I got the Ghost, the one with the hidden pickups, I thought this might sound a little bit dull because the pickups are under the scratch plate. It might sound a bit dull, and I might not like it. I loved it. It was just something in those pickups. I loved that guitar. It was amazing. I missed that guitar actually. But yeah. So try before you buy if you can. If you can't, go for the one which you prefer the look of, because that's the one that's going to make you want to play it. Again, coming back to what I just said a minute ago of practicing. Your guitar is a big part of that. If you've got a guitar you don't like the look of, you don't like the sound of it, and you don't like the way it plays, you're not going to want to play it. But if you've got a guitar you like the look of and you like the way it sounds, you're going to want to play it. So go for which one appeals to you more. If you look at them both on the screen and get them both up and go, that one looks the best to me, go for that one. And once it gets to you, set it up the way you want it and just play it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Sell it and get the other one. Get rid of that one and get the other one. That's the never-ending story of guitars. If one doesn't work for you, sell it until you find the one. But yeah, so I can't really recommend which one. They're both awesome guitars. They're single cuts. The Les Paul Revelation that I had, the green one, was just unreal. That was just like, oh my god! It just felt and sounded proper. Like it was just like, yeah, this is awesome. So and I would like to get my hands on their Goldtop one day. The Goldtop with P90s. Yeah, I want one. So, but yeah, go for everyone you prefer the look of, and just go from there really. And that's what I would recommend. But I say they're both amazing guitars. So you can't really go wrong with either. It's just a case of when it gets to you, do you connect with it? That's the issue there. So, where are we now? Moving on to question 6. Question 6, everybody. What's a decent amp for around 150 to 200 pounds? What decent amp for around 150 to 200 pounds do you recommend for a primarily funky strat style kind of sound that you can gig with? Boss Katana 50. It just is. That amp at this point in time is blowing my face off. It really is. They really are that good. I was skeptical until I got mine. Now I want another one. I need a backup. I want another Boss Katana as a backup. So I'm trying to sell some stuff right now so I can buy one. But the Boss Katana 50 is just awesome. Failing that, the PV Bandit Red Stripe. And failing that, the Marshall MG 100 DFX combo. Those 3 amps. Put a fork in me, I'm done. But yeah, the Boss Katana it has legs because it has more inbuilt effects and the ability to connect to a laptop and do all that tone studio stuff. But as a plug-in and play amp, it's amazing anyway. So, and it just has a really awesome clean tone. And you can get some really awesome kind of like semi-cleanish edge of breakup clean tones using the crunch mode. So I would recommend the Boss Katana on the high end. That's kind of, because they retail for about 200 quid. You can get them second hand for about 150. Next below that, I would have the PV and the Marshall level pegging. Is there any others I can think of? I can't think of any others. People of a Tube, help me out. Guitar amp with an awesome, funky, kind of clean Strat kind of sound for 150 to 200 pounds. Help us out. But yeah, they're the 3 I would recommend. The Boss Katana first, and then the PV Bandit and the Marshall. The PV Bandit and the Marshall, not particularly in any order, them two together. But the Katana being so small and light and sounds it's so loud. The Katana 50 is so loud. I did a gig the other day with Dukes Deluda, and we were outside on the back of a lorry trailer at a festival, and I didn't mic it up, and I had it on just below 2, and it was just level pegging the PA. I don't know how that's possible, but it was just unreal, absolutely unreal. And I wasn't mic'd up, and it was on a chair. I don't know how he did it. I don't know how Boss have done that amp, but I am very impressed, and I am very grateful. And I'm a very, very proud owner of my Katana. I'm very, very proud Katana owner. So yes, they're the 3 I'd recommend. Stop gushing over Katana, Dave. Anyway, yeah, they're the ones I'd recommend. People of a Tube, what would you recommend for £150 to £200? Funky, lovely, clean Stratty amp. So I'm sure there's something I've missed out, but yeah, the red stripe and the Marshall as well, the 100 DFX combo are stunning as well, and I love them to bits. I don't know what happens to my face. Okay, so final question today, everybody. Question 7. Question 7 is what? And I wanted to answer this one. I want to ask people of the Tube as well. What's your dream rig? 1 amp, 1 guitar, and 3 pedals. No price, no limit, no restrictions. So, I have a few dream rigs, really, and I'm lucky enough to own them, which might sound a bit balmy. It's like if you could pick anything in the world, I'm about to go people like, why would you pick that? But the reason for me picking what I'm about to pick is because it works for me. From my experience of playing through what I've played through, I always come back to it, and it's always kind of consistently there in my life and has been forever. But if I had to pick 1 amp to have for the rest of my life, if somebody said, right, you can only have 1 amp for the rest of my life, it's a real difficult one, because the Orange CR120, the Boss Katana, the PB Bandit Red Stripe, and some other amps that I've played through are just stunning. But it would have to be my Marshall MG, because that's where it started for me. That's the Marshall MG that's just sat over there. My number 1 amp, my 100 watt half stack with the angled cab. That's where I started to develop the sound that's in my head. I mean, my sound isn't anything special. It's just a combination of Jimi Hendrix, John Frusciante, Peter Green. All these guys mushed together. It's not really my sound. It's their sounds. But I want a combination of everyone in that sound. And the Marshall MG is the first amp that helped me do that. And it's the amp that when I plug into, it's just it's like coming home. And it sounds a bit weird, but it really is. It's like, so my amp would have to be the Marshall MG, that one there. That's just off camera. But the one that in my amp collection video you can see, it's just, it was the amp that made me start to want to find my own voice, which I still haven't found yet, and it will take forever and ever and ever to do that. And you're never going to stop learning, and you're never going to stop tweaking. But the Marshall MG is the 100 watt head, especially that one there. That's my home. And as much as I love the CR120 and the Boss Katana and the PB Bandit Red Stripe and all the other amps I've had, that's the one that I always come back to when I'm trying something new out and I want to know if it works. If it sounds good through that, I'm happy with it through anything, so to say. So my ultimate amp, if you were gonna put a gun to my head and say, right, you can only have 1 amp for the rest of your life, no ifs, no buts, which isn't really the question. It's your dream rig would be the Marshall MG, but it is my dream rig, because it sounds the way I want it to sound. It does what I want it to do. It really does. It's always done that. If I plug straight into it, I can get the sound I love. If I plug pedals into it, I can get the sound I love. It's got a lovely reverb. I love the effects. I like the effects loop. I love the fact you can line it out to DI it into a PA desk, so you don't have to worry about miking it live. The DI is stunning. I love the crunch mode. I love the clean mode. I love OD1, OD2. I love the FDD switch, which I never have off. So yeah, that would be my amp. Out of all the amps in the world, that's the one I'd pick. Honestly, I'm not doing it just because. That is the amp. That's my home. I do have amps that I love, that just as much. But if you were to say like, what's your dream rig? It's that. I mean, ideally, my dream rig would be 2 amplifiers. It'd be my Marshall MG and the CR120 running together in stereo, because that sound is just unreal. If I could get away with that sound at every gig, and I could cart around 2 4x12 cabs, one having the Marshall run for it and the other one having the Orange run for it, I would do that as a stereo rig. I would have that in a heartbeat. But the places I play, I can't do that. Playing pubs, you'll get kicked out. You'll be too loud and you'll get kicked out. But yeah, that would be my amp, be Marshall MG, because it's just the one I always come back to, and just like I say, it's just my home. If I couldn't get the MG, it'd be the CR120, and if I couldn't get the CR120, it'd be the Katana, and if I couldn't get the Katana, it'd be the PB Bandit, and if I couldn't get the PB Bandit, Anyway, but yeah, that'd be the amp. That and like I say, that is my dream sound, the MG. I just love it. And then say beyond that, there's the CR120, which is also my dream sound. It's my desert island amps. But it's hard to pick one. But if you were to put the gun to my head and say, right, you're gonna have one, it'd be the MG, because that's, like I say, that's where I started to develop the idea of I want my own kind of sound. That's the one that kind of like gave me that get up and go, so to say. But yeah, so that'd be the amp. The guitar would be my white Strat that sat behind the cap. The guitar's this. I own my dream guitar. I actually own many dream guitars of mine, but again, this, my MG, I'm happy. I am happy. This is my best friend, and the MG is my best friend. And 3 pedals, it'd be the Zoom G2 0.1U, it'd be a Vox Silvertop wah-wah pedal, and it'd be a Boss DS2. That's it. And you know what? I think I'm going to do a video on that. So I'm going to do a video on my dream setup, so to say. And like I say, I could say, I would like a 68 plexi, like Jimi Hendrix's, with a Dallas Arbiter fuzz face, a period correct wah-wah pedal, and a Univibe, so I could get the Jimi Hendrix thing. Or I could say I want a Marshall Major with a Silver Jubilee like John Frusciante and a 62 Strat and all this kind of thing. But the thing is, if it has to be a practical setup, and I want to be able to connect with it, and I'm going to connect with things that I know work for me. So with something like that. So I'm getting all silly. But yeah, that'd be my minimalist setup, and that'd be my desert island setup. Would be that. It really would. It's like, the Zoom G2 is it does what it does what it do. Like, the Vox wah-wah pedal does what I want it to do, and the turbo distortion, the DS2 does what I want it to do. They just, those 3 pedals, this guitar, and my Marshall MG, I'd be happy to the rest of my time with that setup. In all fairness, I have had this setup for I got my MG in 2004, the same year I got this guitar, and I got the G2 in 2005, and they've been, and the DS2 and the Silvertop they've been mainstays of my setup for ages, for absolutely ages. My white Strat, the Zoom, and my Marshall have been the longest kind of like mainstay. So yeah, that's my dream rig, and I'm lucky enough that I can say I own that. And it might sound silly, if you could pick anything in the world, what would it be? And I pick that. But again, it's because it works for me. It's because I love the sound it makes, and I love the way it works, and I love what it does. I love the sounds, and there's nothing I can't get, if that makes any sense. Like, if I want the John Frusciante thing, I can get that. If I want the Jimi Hendrix thing, I can get that. If I want a real clean Nile Rodgers thing, I can get that. If I want something else, I can get that with that amp, those pedals, and this guitar. And but yeah, it's, it might come across really strange. It might come across as like you're just saying that just because, but I'm honestly not. If you took everything away and left me with those 3 things, I would not. I'd be annoyed, especially if they just if everything else just disappeared one day and I was just left with that, I'd be like, where's all my stuff? But I would still be able to do what I want to do with that setup. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. But yeah, you know, cause you know you're always gonna find something else that comes on and goes, wow, that's amazing. But to have this guitar and the Marshall MG, they ground me to where what I want. I don't want to have to keep messing with things. I always say I'm a creature of habit. I like to just be able to just turn things on. It sounds the way I want, and then I can just spend all my effort into playing. I don't like plugging into something and it doesn't sound right, and I've got to spend hours tweaking it or messing with it, because then it kind of detracts from what I'm trying to do, which is make music and trying to get what's inside me out. And like I say, this guitar especially helps me do that. No matter what I plug it into, I can do that through this guitar. But anyway, I've waffled on for way too long about that. So people of the tube, what is your dream rig? If you could have 1 amp, 1 guitar and 3 pedals, what would... Forget that. What would it be? So 1 amp, 1 guitar and 3 pedals. So those 5 elements, what would they be? Leave a comment below in the comment section. And yeah, so yeah, I really hope I answered that question. But like I say, it does sound silly, but honestly, I am happy with what, you know. I would have a room full of CR120s, Marshall MGs, and Boss Katanas and PV Bandits, and I'd have a room full of Zooms, DS2s, Vox Wah-Wah pedals, and Looper pedals, and Marshall Governor pedals, and Golden Plexis and Jackhammers, and that would make me happy. That would make me happy. Anyway, enough yammering on. I do apologise for the noise, everybody. But anyway, yeah, that was the final question today, everybody. I have some things to say. Yeah, I've arranged everything on my channel a bit better now. So all my Q&As are now in a playlist. So if you want to go back and check out any of the Q&As I've already done, go to my channel. There's a whole playlist with all the Q&As in there now. So you can just click it and you can go through them. And I thought that'd just be easier. I've also done a playlist for all my videos at Old Hat. So if you ever want to travel back in time and see really stupid Dave, that he didn't know what he was doing in front of the camera, and it's quite funny to watch the first one because I'm really uncomfortable, because it is strange when you first start doing it. But yeah, you can travel back and you can look back at all those videos as well. So they're all in a playlist as well. And big news, well, big-ish news, big news for me. The Untitled series that I have are finally available for download on my Bandcamp. In the description box below, there is a link to my Bandcamp where you can download all the 32, I think it's 32, yes it is 32, 32 Untitles that I've done. So the link in the description box below takes you to my Bandcamp. They're all in an album on there. It's called Music from the Tube. So and there's that really cool cartoon figure of me drawn as the kind of thing, and you can download all them for whatever you want. It's pay what you want, whatever you want. You know. So that's it. So that's really cool. So all the Untitles are now available for all of you lot at the link below. So now you can take them wherever you want, depending on which one you want. You can download them individually, or you can download the whole album of 32. And obviously, like, you know, as I do 33, 34, whatever, they will get added in there as well. I will keep adding to it. So yeah. And also, I'm going to eventually, it won't be this week, but hopefully next week, fingers crossed, I'm going to put my For John album up for sale on my Bandcamp as well. That's going to be up for sale, though. So yeah, you'll be able to download my For John album. I've kind of left that a long time to do, but I thought I'm going to release that. And I've also got some other albums that I'm going to put out there. They're kind of demo albums, though. It's just me and a drum machine. So, but and they're kind of rocky. But I will put them out at some point as well. So I think there's like three of them. Is it 3 or 4? I forget. But I will be releasing them as well, and they'll be available for download as well. But at this point in time, all the Untitleds, and there's some other songs on there as well, are at my Bandcamp. So if you want any of the Untitleds to kind of like take with you to download, then follow the link in the description and go to my Bandcamp and download them from there. So yes, yeah, I hope I answered your questions today, because I'm always terrified that I'm giving bad advice and answering your questions really badly. But hopefully my ramblings have made some form of sense. And thank you for your questions, everybody. And I will see you again on Friday for another video. Not sure what it's going to be, as I never do. But yeah, have a great morning, afternoon, good evening, and goodbye now.